who are you? Where are you from? And what do we have done to your build today?
So I am Robert Rowley. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I have a 1967 GMC C10, C1500, whichever way you want to look at it. Most of y'all know it probably from the internet though, from a TikTok or Instagram, and that is going to be from TheBuiltCmax. The truck that we have in front of you is a 1967 C10 cab, and it is sitting on top of an 03 Duramax chassis. So it has got a LB7 Duramax in it, an Allison 1000. It is a two-wheel drive transmission, two-wheel drive truck. Does really good burnouts, and it's a fun toy.
All right, so tell us a little bit about this engine.
So this engine is a LB7 Duramax. It's the first generation of the Duramaxes. So when they came out in 2001, this is what you ended up getting. It is a stock bottom end motor, so it has a factory crank, factory rods, factory pistons, factory block. I've not done anything to the bottom end. It has a set of KVD head studs in it, a set of eBay head gaskets. We have ourselves an eBay 3-inch turbo horn and a 3-inch, or it might be a 3.5-inch, I'm not sure. eBay intake. We have a KVD hot side charge pipe because the factory ones are a silicone boot that run all the way down for a period of time. We had compounds on it running a really high boost number, and it would just blow those factory boots apart. Past that, when we get into the fuel system. So we are now paying customers so that we can legally be here. That being said though, we've got ourselves 150 over injectors, dual fuelers, and we have ourselves on the side of the truck our fancy air dog. It is a 5th gen 220 gallon per hour pump, so it's able to feed both of those high pressure pumps. Probably one of the best pumps on the market right now because of how much fuel it is able to flow. It is the quietest thing out there. These have the option to be boost reference. This one currently isn't boost reference, but we will be going that way in the near future. Getting fuel from the tank to the air dog, we have ourselves a sump kit. So it pulls fuel directly off of the bottom of the tank instead of going through a draw straw or anything else. Air dog offers those, and that's honestly the best thing you can do if you're going to put an air dog on there. I understand that the kit that they provide you gives you a draw straw, works fantastic, but for another $200, put you a sump kit on there and call it a day. So now that we've gone over the fuel system, we can get into the air, which what we're gonna have is our 3.5-inch intake pipe going to a 3.5 or a 3-inch turbo horn. It has a stock high charger in the valley. It has a KVD hot side charge pipe, factory intercooler, factory hot side pipe with a little bit of paint. We've got ourselves the factory exhaust cut up to the original downpipe of the LB7, and that's going to round out the turbo system in this. Now on top of that, we are running a Nitrous Express dry kit. It's just one of the smallest solenoids that they offer. 10-pound bottle in the bag, no jet in it, and then it's whatever the line will flow essentially. And roughly between what the stock charger will do and the nitrous kit will make about 900 horsepower worth of air. And we've got about 1,200 horsepower worth of fuel with 150 overs in it. So we're more past what the bottom end of this motor will be able to do. That being said, all that power has to go somewhere, and past that, we're going to get into the transmission. We've got ourselves a FTI triple disc torque converter. Basically, throw whatever you want at it. FTI is a very well-known company in the drag racing and burnout world. A lot of the burnout guys run FTI transmissions and converters. That being said, we're just running their converter. Now, the transmission itself has my pump and my valve body in it. It has a set of Excalibur clutches in it. Clutches and steels all throughout the pack, so it's upgraded clutch packs. It's got LML pistons, LML apply plates, stuff like that. Stock shafts, there's no billet shafts in it. Stock input, stock intermediate, stock output, stock planetary gear sets. Fun fact, the transmission has a Carson Concept cross member in it, and that is honestly my favorite part on the truck, strictly because it allows you more access, and pulling that transmission in and out is a breeze. Because now you don't have to worry about moving your hand past the transmission cross member or having this big clunky member in it. It's all right there. Do whatever you need to, drop it out. It's a breeze. Love it. Past that, We have ourselves a stock drive shaft. It's a 2-piece drive shaft. We'll be upgrading that to a 1-piece here in the future. The rear end on this thing is a 11.5 AAM. This one is out of a Dodge unit, so it's got bigger axle tubes and bigger hubs. Still a factory center trunk in it. We have ourselves a little backside, the also mighty ATS diff cover. Now behind that, we're going to have ties welded true track. So there's a true track that I ended up blowing up in Indy or somewhere, and the tie ended up going through, welding it. I've been running that for a minute, so it's essentially a welded diff now. So then we get ourselves over to the wheel and tire setup. First of all, we have a 2-inch wheel spacer from the axle to the wheel, because these are 8x180 and not 8x6.5. That being said, these are a set of hostile sprocket 20x10s and -44 offset, wrapped with some 305, 50, 20, mid 420s, the S's. They're an okay set of tire. They look cool. They're a street tire. Best option right now for what we've got. Nothing bad to say about Nittos. They don't smoke as much as I wish that they would. Might be a horsepower issue, might not be. Rear brakes right now for all the burnouts. No rear brakes. We've got the factory set up in front. Past that, it's going to be on the full 03 Duramax chassis. The suspension is all stock, so it's leaf springs in the front, torsion bars in the front, or leaf springs in the rear, torsion bars in the front, stock shocks, everything that goes with that. So we have ourselves a relatively high horsepower engine, pretty good transmission, questionable rear end. I've been through a lot of these rear ends, and I think part of that issue is from axle wrap. So there's leaf springs, there's nothing really to keep that axle in place. That's where the guys over at Reaper Traction Bars come in, give you a solid bar on there. We have got their Performance Series traction bars, strictly because we do a lot of burnouts. We do a lot of really dumb content sliding around on the street. When you're popping tires, there's not really a whole bunch to keep that axle in place, so that bar with the leaf spring keeps it from moving anywhere. But we have ourselves a 03 firewall floor, which allows us to run the 03 dash. It means that we have air conditioning, heat, radio, cruise control, all the factory stuff that came in 03. It's literally just the steel set on top of a Duramax. Sure, we're rolling.
We're rolling.
Okay, so we have ourselves a set of Kicker 6x9s in the doors. And then for a head unit, we've got a Boss Audio double din. I have to go through and find the part number on it. It's been basically the best head unit you could buy without having to buy an amp for the speakers. The system works great, especially with how noisy this thing is, because it rattles a lot. What else do we have on the inside? I don't think we really have anything else. We got the custom instrument cluster, which doesn't work. Classic. We had an Edge CTS 3 in it, and the Edge CTS has gone out many a times. And I'm over dealing with Edge. So we will be going to a triple pillar setup eventually to do EGT, boost. Boost is an important number. We want to know how much boost is he's making. Yeah. We got stickers here. Let's see. Are we gonna talk about the Lifted Lifestyle rock lights? There are a set of rock lights on this thing. I think this one is covered in rubber. Horn blasters, we have a set of air horns in it. Faster drums, we've been there a time or two. Midwest Diesel Society, don't know who you are. Shout out to you, I get your sticker. Rudy's Diesel Performance, we got their motor mounts in here. UCC, Freedom Truck Meet, Daytona. Okay, for the record, while we're here, Daytona was the best truck meet event thing that I've ever been to. Somebody bring that back to Daytona because it's amazing and I want it back. That being said, 1320, Streetcar Takeover at the Freedom Factory, Chevy Truck Legends, I don't know what that's about. Finnegan Speed and Marine, KB Diesel, they do the head studs, Edge, CTS 3, questionable at best. Rancher's Outlet, because we're here to party. Injectors Direct, did 2 or 3 of the last injectors I had just because I had bad something or others in them. Threw them in, they worked. Yeah. Streetcar Takeover. Yeah, cool, good deal.
All right, so tell me a little bit about these headlights.
So these headlights are going to be the cheapest eBay Chinesium that I could find because I did the original set, and then there's a lot of other different GMC trucks that are styled like that have cloned those styles. I had a lot of issues with those headlights getting hazing over, getting a fog or the condensation on the insides of them. That being said, cheap eBay quality, doing the same thing here, keeping that intact, but give you that little crosshair symbol for the DRLs. Figured it would look cool. I like it. We'll change it up again whenever we get to that point, but for now, eBay to the rescue. So one of the things that nobody really sees or knows about is this bed is absolutely rotted out. There's nothing fancy to it, and that being said, there's no floor. Absolutely no bed floor. All of this is just hopes and dreams. So we have ourselves the Home Depot 3/4 inch piece of plywood on there, and the classic fence post. Nothing but the finest materials to put this bed skin on here. We have ourselves ratchet straps holding the bed together right now because guess what? It's falling apart. I've broken it so many times I need to just put an actual bed on it, but because this is scrap metal thrown together, it's what we're working with. As you can see right here, this is what the truck is known for the most. If you ever are questioning if the truck is this one or not, check the bed gap. This right here is a 4-inch bed gap, and the reason for that being, this is on an 03 Duramax chassis. I did not shorten it because I still want to be able to tow and use the full weight capacity of that truck. And in order to do that, I didn't want to cut the frame, didn't want to shorten it, didn't want to move the axle, didn't want to sacrifice any of the structural integrity for towing purposes or whatever the deal is. That being said, the 67 and 72 bed, whatever this is, the wheelbase of that is 6 inches shorter than what the 03 Duramax chassis is. So we've already taken the center line of the fender on the rear axle, moved it 2 inches farther forwards, and that leaves us with a 4-inch bed gap. So to me, 4 inches, I'm not really worried about it. Your old lady might, but I ain't. So a big shout out to Reaper traction bars for setting the traction bars up on this thing. Like I said, they only do traction bars and they've got that stuff dialed to a T. We're gonna shout out AirDog Fuel Systems because they literally provide the best customer support that I've ever had to deal with in my life, and they make a phenomenal product. Now on top of that, we have ourselves the boys over at FTI. That converter is going strong, and let me tell you, I abused the snot out of it. So shout out to them for making a durable product. The guys over at the Duramax store, dude, if I ever need anything and I need it in a timely manner, go over there, order it, I'll have it shipped to me extremely quick so that I can make whatever events I need to happen. Past that, gotta give a shout out to the boys over at Lifted Lifestyle. They do all the lighting on this thing as far as the rock lights and stuff like that go. We got the boys over at NC Diesel. They helped me throw this thing together before Cletus and Cars. We were having some issues with some of the transmission stuff. They came through Clutch Diligence Automotive, somebody like that. They sent me an S500. That's coming. We're going back to compounds. Nitrous is fun. Love the guys at Nitrous Express. But compounds, I'm tired of filling bottles. On top of that, I want to give a shout out to my boys. We've got Caleb behind the camera right now. We've got John who has the shop for this thing. Birmingham, I want to give a shout out to them because they're pretty chill. We always work well together. A lot of stuff going on right now in the automotive scene, and we're just thankful that they let us slide with as much stuff as that we can.